One of the components of reading process is reading fluency. So, what is reading fluency? According to the Department of Education, Training in Western Australia 2004, page 13, fluency is the ability to read aloud with expression to demonstrate an understanding of the author's message. While the National Reading Panels define fluency as the ability to read text with accuracy, appropriate weight, and good expression. When the students read too slowly or haltingly, the text will break down into a broken string of words or phrases. The reader will struggle just to remember what has been read and find it hard to comprehend the meaning of the text. So, it is important for the teacher to determine if their students' fluency is at a level appropriate for their grade and age level. The teacher should have an ability to develop her students' reading fluency. But, if the students are appropriately fluent or are able to read text fluently at her age level, the teacher must have an understanding on how to maintain that fluency. So, the question is, how can a teacher do that? According to McKenna and Scott 2009, there are three key components of reading fluency, which affects comprehension in a different way. And these are accurate word recognition, automaticity, appropriate rate, and intonation. So, what is accurate word recognition? In order to improve reading fluency, pupils should be reading at their instructional reading level that is 90 to 95% accuracy. There are three levels of reading level accuracy: the frustration level, the instructional level, and the independent level. The frustration level is where the students is given a difficult text for them to read, and that is 90% accuracy. The students will lack interest in reading that text because they find it difficult to understand. One of the reasons may be the textbook is not for her age, the words makes him feel alienated, or the experience he had is not enough for him to understand the level of learning in that text. With that, the learning is critical. But, what we want as a teacher is to teach students reading fluency. So, we should make sure that the students should read at their instructional reading level. In the instructional reading level, it is a challenging but manageable, which is 90% accuracy. So in here, he might find it difficult but he can manage. The pupils might not be that fluent, but the appropriate fluentness is almost there. What he just needs is guide and instruction from the teacher, parents, peers, who could help him practice over and over again until he reached the independent level. The independent level is relatively easy for the students to read, which is 95% accuracy. And that is the ability to read accurately, at a reasonable rate and with appropriate expression and pacing. It is certainly a key factor in being able to understand what has been read, to enjoy the reading process. When you are fluent, you read with automaticity. Now, what is automaticity? As one of the components of reading fluency, what it is? It is defined as the ability to read word without conscious decoding. Automaticity is fast and effortless word recognition that comes with a great deal of reading practices. So, mental energy is required for decoding, meaning very little energy is left for comprehension. Of course, when you are fluent, you can comprehend the text with less effort, and that you are able to add rhythm and intonation into the text that you are reading. Now, what is rhythm and intonation as one of the key components of reading fluency that may affect comprehension? Rhythm and intonation is also referred to as prosody and concerns the ability to read with some sort of inflection. The pitch, the increasing and decreasing of the voice, the intonation may give impact to the meaning of the text. A reading fluency learner must develop her rhythm and intonation so that he won't be misunderstood. Reading fluently can be fun and effective way of training not only reading fluency but also pronunciation, emotion, and intonation while reading out loud. If reading poetry can be will be used correctly, this can be an activity that increases motivation and interest in reading out loud. But there are also other approaches to teach reading fluency which are used by the teachers around the world, and these are choral reading. In choral reading, children chorally read a portion of text altogether. We also have taped reading. In this activity, the teacher tapes the children reading individually. This can be done with microphone on your interactive whiteboard or tape recorder. The children may listen back to what they have read so that they can self-assess their own reading. We also have echo reading. The teacher may work with a small group, whole class, or individual. The teacher models fluent reading and the children repeats the reading back to the teacher, or what we call the read after me approach. They echo the teacher's expression and intonation. Lastly, we also have body reading. Older children are paired with younger children. If children are too close in age, some readers might be feel uncomfortable when reading aloud. There are also other approaches that you might find in the internet. That would be all of my report. If you have any clarification, questions, feel free to ask. Thank you.